Thanks for staying with the Monday Report. So the government is set to increase the capacity of the East African Device Assembly in Kenya Limited in an effort to saturate the market with the low-cost smartphone devices. ICT CS Eliud Owalo says this during the preparatory meeting for the World Telecommunications Standardization Assembly, which brings together stakeholders in the ICT sector drawn from across the continent to deliberate on areas of collaboration such as mobile network interoperability across the globe, as well as the security of networks and the required investments to unlock the economic potential of the ICT sector. Jimmy Mbogo with the details.
The ICT sector in Africa will require at least $100 trillion worth of investment to be able to onboard everyone into the ICT grid. This is according to John Omo, the Secretary General of the Africa Telecommunication Union, who knows that the continent still lags behind in ICT infrastructure, which is required to enable the continent to achieve the full ICT potential. Speaking on the sidelines of the ongoing preparatory meeting for the World Telecommunications Standardization Assembly, WTSA 24, Mr. Omo called on African governments to develop policies that are conducive to private sector investment.
What was, a universal access 20 years ago is no longer the standard now. So what we need to talk a lot more is how are we facilitating our communities in terms of our digital transformation strategies as governments to ensure that each and every person is enabled to participate. Enabling them also calls upon us to ensure that there is education, they know how to use these gadgets, they know how to use these gadgets for their benefit.
ICT Cabinet Secretary Eliud Owalo on his part noted that the government had put in place measures to ensure inclusivity by setting up 2,261 public Wi-Fi hotspots across the country and further digitizing 15,372 services, up from 350 services when they took over. The CS now says to further increase inclusivity in digitization, the government is working to increase the capacity of the East Africa Device Assembly Kenya Limited to provide affordable phones to a wider base.
We foresaw a situation where we may have a deficit in the market in terms of the number of Kenyans who have got access to smart-enabled telephones. Our local assembly plant has churned out in the Kenyan market a total of 194,000 handsets. We envisage that at optimal capacity utilization levels, we should be able to churn out into the Kenyan market about 3 million handsets annually.
At the same time, the Communication Authority of Kenya has expressed concerns over the existing standards, noting that they do not reflect nor address the challenges faced by African countries, urging their regional counterparts to focus on building resilient systems to boost social and economic development.
If we do not pay attention to global ICT standards, the African region risks becoming the dump yard of counterfeit and substandard equipment. With a short lifespan associated with counterfeits, the threat of e-waste management will ultimately become real and catastrophic.
Jimmy Mbogo, Citizen TV, Nairobi.